Hey guys, this is Abhishek from GadgetStudio.com, and today we are going to do a hands-on comparison of the Huawei SN Mate, which is a phablet device from Huawei. It has been launched like 2 months ago approximately, and we have the Micromax Canvas Doodle 2 with us as well. This is another phablet device which has been launched recently from Micromax. So when it comes to the pricing of these two devices, there is a little difference in terms of the pricing. This device is available for a price of around 24,000 Indian rupees, whereas the Micromax Canvas Doodle 2 is available for a price of around 17 to 18,000 Indian rupees. So there is a considerable price difference, and there is a difference in terms of the hardware as well, and we will just show you how these devices actually come closer to each other in terms of performance, in terms of the overall graphics and other things. Now firstly, if we take a look over these two devices in terms of the overall design language, the design language is definitely different as they come from different manufacturers. When it comes to the physical dimensions, the thickness of the Huawei SN Mate is around 9.9 millimeter over here, as you can see, and whereas the thickness of the Micromax Canvas Doodle 2, it is around 8.9 millimeter. So it is definitely lesser in terms of the thickness as compared to this one, and you can notice this difference. This is kind of appearing if you actually compare these devices from side by side profile. If we take a look over the ports and connectivity, both of these devices are actually the unibody devices, so you cannot remove the battery out of these devices. Another thing which we notice here on the device, when it comes to the top side, you have the 3.5mm audio jack on the Huawei SN Mate, whereas you have it over here on the Canvas Doodle 2. When it comes to the slot for the SIM card, you have the slot over here for the SIM card, which will accept a micro SIM. When it comes to the slot for the SIM card, this device is actually a dual SIM device, whereas the Huawei SN Mate is a single SIM device, and the Canvas Doodle 2 does allow you to use 2 SIM cards, so it is a dual SIM device. When it comes to the back camera, we have an 8 megapixel camera on the Huawei SN Mate with autofocus functionality supported, and you do have LED flash as well. When it comes to Micromax Doodle 2, you have 12 megapixel camera at the back with LED flash, as you can see over here. This device, the Huawei SN Mate, weigh around 198 gram, whereas the Canvas Doodle 2 weigh around 220 gram. So this one is slightly heavier as compared to the Huawei SN Mate. Again, when it comes to the SIM card functionality, you have a single SIM device over here, whereas this one is a dual SIM device which will accept a normal size SIM card, and this one will accept a micro SIM. Now as far as the display is concerned, you have IPS plus LCD display on the Huawei SN Mate, whereas you have IPS LCD display on the Canvas Doodle 2, and again the display is pretty good in terms of the overall color reproduction over here on this device. And you might notice this device is little bit brighter, but again the brightness is nicely adjusted over here, and the colors are much more appealing on this screen as compared to this screen, which we have noticed. Now talking about the screen size, this device has a screen size of around 6.1 inch, whereas this one is 5.7, and again they are nearly very close to each other in terms of the display size. Definitely there is a difference. If you actually align the screen side by side, you will notice the difference that this device has a little bit bigger display, but again this device fairly has a pretty good and large display which you can think of in a phablet. Now again, as far as the display resolution is concerned, you have the same 720x1280 display resolution on both of these displays, whereas the pixel density is little bit higher on the Canvas Doodle 2, which is 258 pixels per inch, which we have on this device, whereas you get around 241 pixels per inch because of the little bit bigger display size which we have on this device. When it comes to the UI, this device is running kind of stock UI, which is little bit optimized in terms of the overall look and feel. This is kind of snappy. I do not notice any lag as such, at least as of now. When it comes to this device is also kind of snappy, little bit more snappy I would say as compared to the Canvas Doodle 2, and this is running Emotion UI on top of Android, which is a kind of a customized UI designed by Huawei. When it comes to protection, you have Corning Gorilla Glass protection on this display, whereas we are not sure whether we have any kind of protection on this display or this is a normal glass. Now as far as internal storage is concerned, you have around 8 GB of internal storage on this device, whereas this device comes with 16 GB of internal storage, which will give you around 13 GB user available, which is pretty good as compared to this device as per the price at which this device is coming. Now when it comes to RAM, you have 2 GB of RAM on the Huawei Ascend Mate, whereas you have 1 GB of RAM on the Canvas Doodle 2. And again, this device is fairly fast as compared to the Canvas Doodle 2 as far as software transitions are concerned, home screens are concerned. As far as game playback is concerned, the game playback for specifically high graphic intensive game is much better on this device as compared to this device as per our observation. When it comes to the version of Android, this device comes with 4.1.2 out of the box, whereas this one is having slightly higher version, that is 4.2.1 out of the box. In terms of the look and feel, I would say the Canvas Doodle 2 actually is better in terms of the overall look and feel, because this is a kind of a metal phone, although this part and this part is not actually metal, but this part of the Canvas Doodle 2 is aluminum, whereas on this device we do not see metal anywhere on this device. The front glass is definitely a Corning Gorilla Glass protection display. When it comes to the back, you have a plastic kind of a material which is actually better. It gives you nice grip because it is a kind of matte finish and which has some kind of rubberized thing to it as well, which will give you again a nice grip when you hold the device in one hand. But on the other hand, the Canvas Doodle 2 has an aluminum finish, which again will give you a better grip and a better look and feel, a better feel when you hold the device in one hand. So again, in terms of the overall look and feel and the build quality, Canvas Doodle 2 is slightly better as compared to the Huawei Ascend Mate. Although this device is actually very solid if you hold it in one hand, only the feel of the device as far as back side is concerned is not that good as compared to the Canvas 2. When it comes to the back camera, you can record a high definition video at 1080p with 30 frames per second from the 12 megapixel back camera on the Canvas Doodle 2, and you can also record a high definition video at 1080p from the 8 megapixel back camera on the Huawei Ascend Mate at 30 frames per second. So when it comes to processor, you have 1.5 GHz quad-core processor, Cortex A9 based architecture based processor on the Huawei Ascend Mate, whereas you have quad-core 1.2 GHz Cortex A7 processor on the Canvas Doodle 2. You have PowerVR STX 544MP GPU on this device. However, we are not sure what is the GPU configuration of this device. Another difference in between these two devices is that you have touch capacitive buttons on the Huawei Ascend Mate which are there within the display, whereas the touch capacitive buttons on this device are not within the display. So again, this device, as far as these buttons are concerned, they take some part of the screen resolution when it comes to the display, whereas you do not have this problem on the Canvas Doodle 2 on this device. Now as far as battery backup is concerned, the battery on the Huawei Ascend Mate is 4050 mAh as compared to the 2600 mAh battery on this device. So the battery on the Huawei Ascend Mate is much higher, and in terms of the overall backup as well, this device is going to give you much better battery backup as compared to the Doodle 2 as per our observation and test. When it comes to the front camera, so the front camera on the Huawei Ascend Mate is a 1 megapixel camera, which is again capable of doing a video recording at 720p, and you can do a high definition video chat from the front camera on this device, which is pretty good. When it comes to the front camera which we have on the Canvas Doodle 2, we have it 5 megapixel front camera, which is again a fixed focus camera just like this one, and you can record a good quality video. Again, you cannot record high definition video from the front camera on this device. When it comes to GPS navigation, you can use GPS navigation on both of these devices with the help of assisted GPS. Now if you take a look over the quadrant score which we have got on both of these devices, we have got 4474 on the Huawei Ascend Mate, whereas we have got a score of 3947 on the Canvas Doodle 2, and this is how the detailed score look like for the CPU, memory, input output operation, 2D and 3D, as you can see. So when it comes to FM radio, you get FM radio on this device as well and also on this device, and again the quality of the FM radio sound is stereo FM on this device, whereas it is going to be mono sound quality which you will hear from the loudspeaker on the Canvas Doodle 2. So when it comes to the Ninama score which we have got on the Huawei Ascend Mate is pretty good. As you can see, 58 FPS. When it comes to this device, it is 46.1 FPS. And again, when it comes to the gaming performance, this device is definitely better than this one as far as gaming is concerned. And again, it can play most of the graphic intensive game like Mortal Kombat 4, Nova 3 without any lag, as compared to some of the graphic glitch which we have noticed on the Canvas Doodle 2. So that's all from us as far as the quick hands-on comparison of the Huawei Ascend Mate. If you are actually wondering whether this device has very good brightness or not, we have just turned on the brightness on this device. So both of these devices are fairly good as per the price at which they are coming. This device comes for a price of around 17,000 Indian rupees. So again, you get a pretty big display device for 17,000 Indian rupees if you want to buy this one. This device does have a pretty good internal memory, like 16 GB, out of which around 13 GB is actually available to the user, although you do not have micro SD memory card slot on this device, whereas you have micro SD memory card slot on the Huawei Ascend Mate. Although the device memory is around 8 GB, which comes for a price of around 24,000 Indian rupees, which is fairly high as compared to this device. But in terms of the overall gaming performance, the Huawei Ascend Mate is much better device as compared to the Canvas Doodle 2. Again, there are some advantages on the Canvas Doodle 2 as well, like the high internal memory, around 13 GB available to the user, but this device definitely has a better gaming performance. In terms of the display, this is an IPS LCD display, whereas this one is an IPS plus LCD display. So the display is pretty good over here on this device as far as colors are concerned. As far as brightness are concerned, this is fairly bright. This might be a little bit more brighter, but on the color side, this one is actually much better in terms of the overall color reproduction when it comes to the display. So both of these devices are equally good at the price at which they comes. Again, you have the option of deciding in between any of these two devices. The camera front, the camera is a 12 megapixel camera on this device, whereas it has an 8 megapixel camera on this device. And again, the camera quality is slightly okay on both of these devices. I do not find any of these devices exceptional in terms of the overall camera quality, although this device is capable of recording high definition video, and this is also capable of recording high definition video. So that is one thing which is common in between these two devices. But in terms of the build quality department, in terms of the look and feel, this device looks much more premium in terms of the overall build quality and the look and feel as compared to the Huawei Ascend Mate. We have metal over here on the Canvas Doodle 2, whereas we have a plastic kind of a back cover with the rubberized finish on the Huawei Ascend Mate. Again, it is your opinion which device you want to select out of these two. Do let us know if you have any specific question for this device or any of these two devices. Basically, you can let us know through the comment section below. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.